But we begin tonight with what continues to be the biggest political story in the country, bar none. Last night's unexpected, jaw-dropping, out of nowhere, choose your superlative victory by Republican Christine O'Donnell in the race for the U.S. Senate in the state of Delaware. Now, the thing that usually happens the day after a heated primary battle like this one is that there is a party-wide call for unity. A kumbaya unity rally is set where the victor and the vanquished lock arms and march toward the general election. In the case of Christine O'Donnell and Delaware, don't bet on the kumbaya thing. Today, the vanquished 9-term Republican Congressman Mike Castle made it clear to everyone who would listen that he will not be endorsing Christine O'Donnell, not now, and I'm guessing not ever. A senior aide to Congressman Castle telling Politico.com today, quote, "She is a con artist who won by lying about Mike Castle's positions and about her own life." In the immediate hours after her victory, Christine O'Donnell has faced some of the heaviest fire from fellow Republicans.
How does she make her living? Why did she mislead voters about her college education? How come it took her nearly 2 decades to pay her college bills so she could get her college degree? How does she make a living? Why did she sue a well-known and well-thought-of conservative think tank? There are just a lot of nutty things she's been saying that just simply don't add up.
Right around the time that Karl Rove was describing Christine O'Donnell as nutty on Fox News last night, Christine O'Donnell was also essentially being disowned by the National Republican Party itself, the National Republican Senatorial Committee, whose job it is to get Republicans elected to the Senate, saying last night that it had no plans to fund Christine O'Donnell's campaign going forward. That decision was then reversed about 12 hours later. That flip-flop by the NRSC is sort of emblematic of what has been happening with the rest of the Republican establishment over these last 24 hours. It has effectively thrown up its hands and decided to grudgingly get in line behind the Christine O'Donnell candidacy. Today, evinced by late high-profile Republican endorsements from people like Mitt Romney and Congressman Mike Pence, Senators John Cornyn and Bob Corker and John Thune. But there is a reason why experienced Republican politicos were not getting behind Christine O'Donnell's candidacy before. That was felt very palpably today as yet more stuff became known about her positions and about her political history. For instance, her past stated views on the issue of not gay people, not anything as controversial as that, but women in the military.
By integrating women into particularly military institutes, it cripples the readiness of our defense. Schools like the Citadel train young men to confidently lead other young men into a battlefield where one of them will die. And when you have women in that situation, it just creates a whole new set of dynamics which are distracting to training these men to kill or be killed.
As women in the military, you are detrimental to American national security and you are a distraction. Also, in wars, only one person dies. We also learned more today about Christine O'Donnell's views on sexual education, particularly her view that condoms do not, in fact, stop the spread of HIV.
A lot of the money that we're spending goes to things that we know will not prevent AIDS, but indeed will continue to spread the disease. When a lot of our money goes to distribute condoms in high schools, when a lot of our money goes to distribute material that is literally pornographic.
As a full-time abstinence campaigner before she started running for office full-time, Christine O'Donnell has a lot of interesting stated advocacy positions on sex that are just now coming to light. Back in 2003, she warned about the dangers of co-ed floors and co-ed bathrooms on college campuses. And if the term co-ed sounds antiquated, it's because it is. The idea is that it is controversial for women and men to be at school together. Quoting Christine O'Donnell, "What's next? Orgy rooms? Menage a trois rooms? Co-edness is like a radical agenda forced on college students." And then, of course, there's the video that we finally unearthed last night of Christine O'Donnell's national campaign for self-abstinence.
We have God-given sexual desires, and we need to understand them and preserve them to be used in God's appropriate context. We need need to address sexuality with young people, and masturbation is part of sexuality, but it is important to discuss this from a moral point of view.
Masturbation is a selfish act, and it's a lustful one, and we are to walk with pure hearts, not adulterous, lusting hearts.
The Bible says that lust in your heart is committing adultery. So you can't masturbate without lust.
That was Christine O'Donnell's job before getting into politics full-time. She was the president and founder of an organization called The Salt, which, when it wasn't busy warning kids not to get busy with themselves, it was trying to convince gay people that they can be cured of the gay. This is now the Republican nominee for Senate in the great state of Delaware. This is who Republicans now spent the day today lining up behind and sending money to. The thing about Christine O'Donnell that is so interesting about her as a politico, though, aside from some of her incredibly interesting views, is that even though she has been portrayed as an out-of-nowhere political outsider, she's not that much of a political outsider. Christine O'Donnell is not only this year's Republican nominee, she was the last Republican nominee for this Senate seat as well. She was the Republican nominee who lost to Joe Biden for this Senate seat back in 2008. In fact, Christine O'Donnell has run for the Senate 3 times over the past 5 years. Running for Senate has been Christine O'Donnell's job. She has not had a job other than that. She is a professional Republican candidate for office, leading to complaints from Republicans and conservatives in Delaware that, in their words, she's a con artist.
Christine O'Donnell is no conservative. You see, this is her 3rd Senate race in 5 years. As O'Donnell's manager, I found out that she was living on campaign donations, using them for rent and personal expenses, while leaving her workers unpaid and piling up thousands in debt. She wasn't concerned about conservative causes. O'Donnell just wanted to make a buck.
That was a robocall paid for by the Delaware Republican Party, by the Republicans.